Hello, welcome to Dungeon Dwellers Podcast. I'm your host, Justin. Today we're reviewing an X-Men comic book, Wolverine and Gambit crossover, written by Jeph Loeb, art by Tim Sale. Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale are kind of a famous comic book team. They wrote Batman Long Halloween and Batman Dark Victory, which are considered classics. This comic book series was a four-issue miniseries called Wolverine Gambit Victims, which is about. At first, it's like a modern take on Jack the Ripper, which really has nothing to do with the comic book. But yeah, what the story is about is, um, in modern day London, somebody is killing women, and it's reminiscent of the Jack the Ripper uh, killings, which Jack the Ripper not never got caught. Didn't get caught. There are rumors or hypothesis that he was, well, the number one famous one is he was probably a surgeon, but let's be real. The women he was killing were hookers, and people think the guy might have been like a noble or something, and that's why they never caught him. Because it's like, are we really going to lock up a noble who killed like hookers? Especially back then, they probably had a low opinion of working girls, of sex workers, in in the 1800s. Yeah, so that's just my theory on it, and I've heard that from other people, so I wouldn't be surprised. Though there's this great Jack the Ripper episode of I can't remember what TV show. It might have been Twilight Zone or Outer Limits, but you had Carrie Elwes from The Princess Bride played Jack the Ripper, but it was the thing where he was killing women that were possessed by aliens. So it was he made this somehow he was able to make a machine that was able to find these alien alien hosted women, which all for some reason possessed hookers. It was a pretty cool episode of that series. I can't remember if it was Outer Limits or Twilight, but yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, so the story is one of the women killed is a detective, Alexandria Davies, which Remy LeBeau, aka Gambit, had was in love with her. He one time he got caught robbing a place in London. He caught her, but he promised her, "Hey, if you let me go, I'll find out who was stealing, who was robbing all those places." Which it was some Japanese chick for some reason. Yeah, and they had a little romance going on. So he goes to London to investigate her death. Stumbles upon Wolverine. Wolverine is in London, and for some reason doesn't know why he's there, or how he even got there in the first place. But apparently, in the comic books at the time, Wolverine has been having episodic berserker rages where he kills people and doesn't know about it or some bullshit. So yeah, they run into this chick named Martinek. I don't even know how to pronounce this fucking name. Martinique Jason, who's some chick who claims to be working for Nick Fury. She rescues our two main characters from the cops who were surrounding them. And it turns out she's the daughter of some mutant called Mastermind, and she has the same powers as Mastermind, which she's able to read people's minds and then create illusions, right? And she's working with Arcade, who is the real killer of the women, and then like you have like a fake fight between Wolverine and Gambit. Wolverine and Gambit work together, and they defeat the female mastermind in Arcade, but like the female mastermind gets away. So I really enjoyed this comic book. The problem with it is it's only 4 issues, and it's like $17, but I only paid like $3 for it because I got it at the dollar store. Yeah, it's in like yeah, I talked about how I got this on my Christmas episode of the Otaku Underground Radio podcast. But yeah, I had like when I was shopping for this at the dollar store, which they have like a bunch of fucking DC and Marvel graphic novels for super cheap. I wanted to pick up an X-Men one, X-Men comic book, but they only had 2 choices: this or Uncanny X-Men, which was I read the back and it was about some like SJW bullshit. Here, that's the problem with modern day. X-Men has always been pretty leftist, but like nowadays everything is about race and this and that. Which the X-Men are supposed to be now are treated like an analogy for like racism. Which even in the '90s cartoon it was like that, but it was like, dude, like it was a little bit more than that. And it's just kind of retarded. But what's great about this comic book is that there's none of the modern day racism bullshit with the X-Men and mutants, because like let's be real, it's kind of retarded. Humanity has a little bit of a right to be a little racist towards X-Men, considering how like dangerous they are. Like you have like Omega level mutants that can fucking destroy the planet and shit like that. You had like one chick in like an X-Men game I played like destroy like a whole city block, and like her powers just activated out of nowhere and like just destroyed the city block. So yeah, humans have a right to be like cautious against like mutants. And like the whole reason that X-Men were formed in the first place, because like you had like Magneto and their like mutant supremacist group, and they're like X-Men was supposed to be about, hey, we understand how like dangerous mutants are, so we're gonna form a superhero team to fight mutant problems. And protect humanity. So like they know, hey, not all mutants are bad, but like modern day comic books have kind of forgotten that, and now like the mutant supremacists and the X-Men are working together now against humanity or some shit. It's like, oh my god, we've gone a long way from the 60s, haven't we? But yeah, I would say it's a fun book. The dialogue was pretty good for a comic book. The art out at times was pretty weird. Like at some points, fucking Gambit looks like Sandman from the Sam Keith like Neil Gaiman comic book. It's like, yeah, like Gambit looks so different in like different like panels and shit. It's like it's a very well. I think it's like Tim Sale has like kind of a surreal like art style, kind of. But yeah, I don't know. I really enjoyed the comic book, and it's a 1995 reprint, so it was reprinted in 2013. So like, yeah, it looks kind of, it has that 90s comic feel to it. I don't know. I thought the action was good, the dialogue was good, the story was good. I'm giving it a 6.5 out of 10. Though it's like, I don't know if I would pay like $17 for this. I would say if you can get this for $10, that I would say it's worth it, but it's not worth more than $10. Like I wouldn't, especially it's like a 4-issue. Again, it's a 4-issue graphic novel, and like the only bonuses is that you get like a 1-page character profile on Gambit, and you got like 1, 2, 3, You got a 5-page character profile with Wolverine, which Gambit says here he's 6'2". Guess how tall Wolverine is, or how short? 5'3". Which he's totally not drawn like 5'3" anymore. But yeah, he's like 5'3". Holy fuck, dude. He's like a midget. Or a dwarf. But yeah, I don't know. I was going to review before Watchmen Ozymandias Crimson Corsair, but that book is really fucking bad. Yeah, so I don't know what my next comic book review is going to be. I want to keep it DC. Well, we're also going to review another Ragnarok volume review. All right, guys, later. Peace.